All right, going live in three, two, one. Well, this is the Working Title Experience episode number 25. We've had, 25 episodes so far. I can't believe that we've had that many. But today's guest is going to be Katie Hamilton. Katie, how are you doing today?
Hi, I'm doing good. How are
That's
you?
good. I'm doing okay, I guess. I got some things going on, but I'm happy to see you. You look really happy and cheery.
I am. It's Saturday morning. It's the weekend. It's nice outside.
Well, of course, it's Saturday morning where you are. Of course, where I am, it's Saturday afternoon already. So
That was
we're
it.
already at.
Well, I guess it's almost. I know. It's like, do you consider afternoon? I guess anything afternoon, not really 1 o'clock.
Yeah, and also you got to remember we're being heard around the world, so some people may actually be hearing us at nighttime or even
Or
early in
maybe
the morning.
Sunday.
So yeah, it's true. so, Katie is a. How would you describe yourself, Katie, to my viewers?
I would say I am a creative person who also likes to go out and enjoy nature. I like hiking. I like being active. I like going out and checking out new places. I guess that's a little bit about me. I like doing, yeah, I just like going out and kind of creating things and being out there and exploring.
That's interesting. So, as far as why, I'm just curious, why is that an interest of yours? I'm just, is that something that's been like you've had all your life, or is that something that's more recent? I'm just curious.
Like exploring out in the, like exploring or more the creative
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah. Well, I guess a little of both. I guess I'm kind of going off and I wasn't really sure how to direct that point, but yeah, as far as like the nature part, I mean, do you go on like nature hikes? What do you do with that?
Yeah, so I'm really big into like photography and stuff. So, and I really like landscape photography. So, a lot of times I'll just go out and kind of like explore in nature and just have my phone or my camera with me and kind of just take pictures and stuff like that. So, I go hiking, I like exploring new trails, whether it's like just a leaf trail, I guess you would call it, or like waterfalls or something like that, and just kind of like exploring new places. Sometimes I'll be on a trail and I'll just be like, well, this way looks really tiny, but it looks like it could lead to something cool. And then I feel like those are the spots that you find like the most random things. Like one time I followed this really small trail that took me to this like beautiful waterfall. So I just like finding little like hidden things and then being able to share that with other people and just kind of finding those.
That's cool. I mean, the funny part is I live out in a very rural area, so I could walk out into the woods and explore. But for me, since it's not really well traveled, it's usually not recommended to go out because there's too many ticks, too many
Oh yeah.
mosquitoes, especially during the summertime. It's just and then there's also I'm so rural that there are actually hunters around. I actually heard guns this morning firing off not too far from my house.
Yeah,
So
that's scary. I don't think I would go over there. Well, it's interesting because I'm like, because I'm from the Midwest and I feel like we didn't really deal with a lot of ticks and stuff. But now living in the South, everyone's like, yeah, like really big. Like, there's ticks in there. Don't go over there. There's ticks. And now I'm just like, oh my gosh, like I never even thought about ticks when I lived in the Midwest. There probably were ticks out there, but I didn't even think twice of it. But now here I'm like, should I put my head in like my hair in a hat or I don't know what to do. Uh,
Usually the best thing is wear pants, make sure and tuck your pants into your and wear socks, long socks, and make sure and tuck your pants into your socks while you're walking. That way they can't. What they do is they come up your legs, and if you don't do that, I've gotten them where they come up, they crawl up your leg up to the top of your sock, and they'll burrow right into your leg at that point. So that's
you
where you.
have one on your leg.
Oh yeah, it was about 8 years ago. I found one burrowed right in my leg, and it was right where my sock came up to where the edge of my sock was, and I was like, oh, it's so disgusting, very disgusting. So
You have to burn it off. I've heard people like burn them.
I didn't know what to do. I kind of pulled it out with my fingers pretty quickly. So, but it was the head got stuck in my leg, and that was the gross part. So
Yeah, I heard you're supposed to like. I'm learning so much about them. You have to like scrape them. You can't just like pick them out. You have to like scrape them down.
yeah, that's the thing. I didn't know what to do, and I now I do know a little bit more. But yeah, the scraping part was it was definitely something I had to deal with the head because it just wouldn't come out. So
Oh, that's so gross. Now people know. If you ever had to deal with a tick, you know what to do.
Yes, yes. The other thing is where I live, since there's a lot of deer, there's also the potential for disease, which is also a
Mm.
great factor to experience. I wish I could go on a hike like what you were talking about and just go into the woods and not be so fearful of the of wildlife itself. So
Right. I was like, maybe Alaska, but that would be really cold, or Antarctica, or like one of the colder places that the bugs don't live. But then you have a whole other probably set of things that you're kind of watching out for.
yeah, the like polar bears.
So which one's more scary?
So, what we'd like to do is I'd like to engage our audience with a question. So, we were talking about, you and I were talking about this before we started the show. What we'd like to do is ask the audience a question. And then what we'll do is we'll come back periodically, or maybe at least once by the end of the show to see what kind of results we have on this. So, let me go ahead and bring this up. This is a common thing we do for every show. Alrighty. So, what question did you want to ask our audience that you think might be that like I know we had discussed one, but if you have something new, you can always add that. It's whatever you want to ask them, and it can, like I said to you before we started the show, it can be anything. So,
Okay. Well, I do know, so since it is summer, I feel like there was like a whole debate on like hot dogs and like hot dog buns and everything. So now all these like different topics are coming out with like hot dog buns and hot dogs. And I just saw one yesterday that French's is coming out with. I think is it called French's or Fur? I think it's yeah, French's, not French's. That's an ice cream place. They're coming out with mustard flavored hot dog buns, or like throwing the idea out there. So I'm kind of curious what people think of that. If they would want a flavored hot dog bun, or if it's like no, you like adding your toppings to your hot dog.
okay, okay. Would you like? Would you want? Do you want me to add the? Would you want me to specify the mustard flavored, or just in general?
Oh, just like would you like flavored hot dog buns? Sure, we could do that.
Okay, what I'll do is I'll put "Would you like a flavored hot dog bun?" and I'll put an example as a mustard one. How's that?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm trying to think of like a ketchup flavored bun. It just seems so weird. I feel like it would either be dry or like really like sticky, or like I don't know.
What was that? I'm sorry, I missed that part, last part.
Oh, like I was just thinking of like a ketchup hot dog bun. I can't imagine. It reminds me of like the green ketchup, and just like having a red bun just seems weird.
A green ketchup. Oh, no, I have not eaten. I've not eaten a hot dog for a long time. They have green colored ketchup. Yeah, you're gonna have to excuse my ignorance.
This is back from like I think the early 2000s. Like they had like green and purple like ketchup. You don't remember that? And you could it was like the squeeze ketchup, and it
Oh,
was different colors, and people would like dip their fries in it, and it'd be like green ketchup.
oh no, really? That's interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd like that. Did it look appetizing?
No, that's why I think it was only around for like a month, or like a couple, like maybe a year.
It's it was a local thing too. Was it nationwide? Maybe I don't. I'm just curious as to why went past me so much.
I'm pretty sure it was like nationwide. I'm gonna have to ask like people in other states that I'm friends with and be like, hey, do you remember this? Like, was this a thing here? Unless it was just like us crazy people in the Midwest were like, ooh, green ketchup, we're gonna eat that. But I remember I was like probably I was in elementary school, and I remember like my friends had it, and we put like I feel like we put it on everything just because it was like cool looking, not because it's something you'd put ketchup on, but just because we wanted to squirt this like green ketchup on everything.
Oh, it kind of reminds me, if that is the case, it kind of reminds me of McDonald's used to have, like, if you ever go into McDonald's, you'll find certain things that you can't find at other McDonald's. They're like doing a trial thing. Have you ever seen that?
Yeah, I think I know what you're gonna mention, but I
Uh,
want to see if that's what you're gonna say.
I remember seeing pizza at a
Oh,
McDonald's,
okay.
and I'd never seen it before, never seen it since.
Hmm.
And I've seen other things, but I can't remember. What have you seen?
I remember around that same time, the ice cream, they had these little like squeezable gels, and you could get like bubble gum, blue moon, like raspberry, and they would squirt this like gel on the ice cream, and then your ice cream would be like also that flavor. But it was only around for like a year. And it was so cool because you could literally pick like any flavor you wanted to be like on your vanilla ice cream cone. Did they have that? Do you remember that?
I do not remember that. What, that was the early 2000s?
That was probably, oh geez, how old was I? Yeah, probably like around 2000, 2000s.
Okay.
Yeah.
The I used to go to McDonald's on a regular basis, but the people seemed to be not so friendly, so I kind of faded away from going to them. I was afraid maybe they were spitting in my food, so I just stopped going there. So
You gotta worry about that anywhere you go, I feel like.
I will say there was one McDonald's that was in Northwest DC, and this one was the friendliest McDonald's I ever went to. They were I would go back there at any time. I'm usually afraid to go to any place in DC, but this place it was in actually within DC, not like outside like in Maryland or Virginia. And they were open, they were friendly. And I was like, wow. And I almost wanted to give the people a tip. I never wanted to give a tip to the people. They were just that friendly and that open. So,
That's awesome. Well,
it's,
I should go to DC. We shall make trips to DC to McDonald's.
yeah, the every other McDonald's is like the same. I'm not so sure. They're friendly, nasty, whatever. But these are just way out there. I assume. I don't know what they paid these people, but they were just definitely I can't speak now. They definitely love their jobs. So
Free shakes every morning. Free coffee and shakes.
so I got it. What would you like a flavored? Did I spell that right?
Would you
Flavored
like would you like a flavored hot dog bun?
bun. Yes, we got the word bun in there, such as mustard
And you
flavor.
gotta switch the A and would you like a flavored hot dog bun?
Oh yeah. Oh okay. Hey, thank you. When I was teaching my students would point out, I'd hand out a test and I'd do the same thing. I knew what it was supposed to say, but then
Yeah.
they'd say, "Isn't there a word missing here?" And I'd look at it, and go, "No, I don't." And they say, "That's because you wrote the test. You know what it's supposed to be. We haven't seen the test yet. You have to." And I'd go, "Oh yeah, you're right." And I have to reread it a couple of times. I go, "Oh yeah, you're right. It is missing a word. So you have to excuse me. I don't know why I do that, but it's a." I still haven't
And
gotten
there's
over it.
still an extra A.
Oh,
Would
what's
you,
okay?
would you like a flavored hot dog bun? It could be like that.
There we go. Would you like a flavor? There we go. Okay, so see, let's put no, yes,
Disgusting, of course.
uh, no. Oh, we put no disgusting. How about that? Is that right?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay, and yes, of course. Okay. Oops, I can spell there. There we go. And anything else?
We could do like a maybe depends on the flavor, although it could be pretty open to whatever flavor you wanted. Um,
Yeah, actually, I like that. Depends on the flavor. That's a good response. And then what we'll do is we'll give another one where they can say, um, depends on the flavor, and then you will say your choice, and we'll say leave a comment below. Leave a comment,
mhm.
and I think that will address everybody else. Oops, there we go.
Like your choice of flavor.
Yeah, I'm gonna put that in there. Your choice of FLAVOR. Leave a comment below. There we go. All right. Does that look good? Oh, let me.
Yeah, that's good. I'm curious to know what people are gonna think about what flavor hot dog bun they would eat. Pickle
Oh,
flavored?
pickle flavor? Did you say that?
Yeah, someone at work yesterday was telling me that they put pickles on their hot dogs, and that just like blew my mind. I've never heard of that before.
I never heard that either. That's it. I added one more that says I don't care because we always get somebody that just
I
doesn't
don't
give a
really
damn.
care about that. Why are you asking me this?
Okay, ready? I'm gonna go ahead and post that. Is that good?
Yeah, perfect.
Okay, here we go. Pickled on their hot dogs. Now, I used to when I was working in DC, they would have these little hot dog vendors. I'm going to bring this down so we don't have to watch that. Um, and then I remember walking up one time, and they're very friendly because they own their own businesses, so they want to get the people to come back. And these little, they call them roach coaches. I don't know if you've ever heard that expression, because basically they're so full of food that, and sometimes they don't clean them out, that they're gonna have a lot of roaches walking around inside of them. So this guy was pretty clean though. He gave me a hot dog, and he kept on saying, "You want this? You want this?" And he was like real friendly. I said, "Oh, sure." Next thing I know, there was all this stuff on there, and I actually kind of liked it. Kind of some of the stuff I liked, some of the stuff I don't. I don't even know what he put on there, to be honest.
By then it's like, is this even a hot dog anymore? It's just like this huge sandwich.
Yeah, yeah. But I do not think he put a pickle on there. I do not think that was there at all. So, um, now
Yeah.
let me run something by you to see what you think. When I was a kid, my mother used to make me peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, and she would also give me a bologna sandwich. So I'd have both together, like one peanut butter and jelly, one bologna. And what would happen is because they were together, oftentimes they would get like mixed a little bit. So what
Mm.
happened is I get like a little bit of peanut butter and jelly in the bologna side. So what I ended up developing was this taste for having a peanut butter bologna and jelly sandwich combined as one. It for me, I love that. I was like, I ate that. I ate that all up until my early adult years. And people look at me like, "Oh, what are you eating there? It's gross." But I was like, I just loved it. So,
So you
um,
actually put, like, jelly on one side, peanut butter on the other, and put a slice of bologna in the middle.
yes, yes, that's what I did. And it was all because of like a small little mixing when my mother would make the sandwiches when I was a kid. I just loved it. So I don't know. What do you think about that?
Um, well, so that's funny because I feel like my mom also made like peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, but and she'd also make bologna sandwiches, and like I never ate them together. But there was one instance where I had bologna and it had a really weird taste. It like I want to say it tasted like a plant, but I always tell people that and they're like, Katie, are you eating plants? And I was like, well, I mean, like lettuce, but like it tasted like dirt or something. I don't know. It had a really weird taste. And ever since then, I never ate bologna again. So I feel like I'm just really weird to bologna. But I'm trying to like imagine bologna on a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. I've heard of someone was telling me they make a peanut butter sandwich and put an egg on it. So I tried that once and it was actually pretty good. But I put eggs on everything, I feel like.
Hmm. I,
Uh,
I I will say that when I was a kid, I was very fussy with eggs, and lately I can eat. I'm surprised what I'll eat with an egg. So and actually find it to be pretty good. So oh, and that reminds me, like, talking about eggs. I recently went to what is it? I was with my sister and her husband. We went out to like a what are the it's on the tip of my tongue. What are the restaurants that sell breakfast food all day long? What
like a diner?
yeah, yeah. Well, it's a more national. It's a chain though.
So, like IHOP or
IHOP. It was that's it. Exactly. IHOP. Yeah. We went to IHOP and we were while we were eating, apparently her Dave, who's my sister's husband, made a comment that apparently they put uh pancake I can't say it, pancake batter in everything that they make. I don't know if that's true. And so like they'll just to add to the taste, so not a lot, just so you taste it in your eggs, you'll taste it in your egg, anything that you get. It's like they'll add a little bit of pancake batter just to it, just to make it a little more tasty.
just to like
So
fluff it. I feel like I have heard something like that. I feel like it's a good idea, but then I also feel like, well, what if someone's allergic to the pancake batter or something in it? Then they can't get
yeah,
eggs, or they could probably make it without.
yeah. In fact, I have right now I'm on a really highly restricted diet, so I had to tell them my sister even I told her well she actually before I could even say anything she told the waitress, hey, can you make sure that there's nothing added to the food before I even ordered. She was like I guess she was protecting me so beforehand. But yeah, it's yeah. So so as far as I know, I got regular eggs and steaks, and that was about it. So
I guess you'd be safe if you got like a fried egg because I don't know how they would add pancake batter to that unless they like, but I could see like omelets and stuff. Like,
yeah,
don't put pancake batter in my omelet, please. But it's so interesting. But I could see that. I bet you it make it more like fluffy and like
I guess, and so I guess people like that. I guess maybe it's to lure them back in or something. I don't know, but the I will say the eggs that I got were very delicious compared to what I usually eat. I usually eat eggs on a regular basis at home, and these had definitely a different taste. So they added something to them that I'm sure was probably not good for my system, but it was it's still very tasty.
butter. I feel like I have gone to restaurants before and like I'm like, this is so good, but it's just an egg. Or like it's just a whatever. Like, what did they do to it? And then I realize it's like kind of oily, and I'm like, oh yeah, there's like butter or oil on it. That's why it's so good. Yesterday though, I actually has this ever happened to you? I cracked an egg and there were two egg yolks in it, and I almost like wanted to research to see if this was safe to eat.
Oh,
Apparently it is. It doesn't like provide you any more nutrition, but
yeah, in fact, it is a very no, believe it or not, it's actually a very common thing. I get the jumbo size. I get the largest size eggs you can get when I go to this supermarket, and I had the same reaction as you did the very first time because usually I got the large, and then one day I decided I upgrade to the jumbo size, and all of a sudden two yolks came. I was like, oh my goodness, and then like I cracked open like two or three more eggs, and they were like the exact same. So it's been
oh, they
like that.
all had two yolks.
There are a lot of them, not every single one, but a lot of them that did. So
Yeah.
so it's very,
I was
very common.
Yeah, that blew my mind. I like cracked it yesterday and I was like looking in the pan and I was like, wait a second. And then I'm already kind of like weird about eggs. Like I try not to think it like came from an animal. And then like that made me realize like, okay, well, this is kind of like twin eggs or like twin chickens. And then it just kind of was like grossed me out, but I ate it anyway. I just scrambled them and made French toast.
The excuse me, I'm sorry. I just ate before we started the show. I have something I do want to show you. This is an actual egg that I had. I saved it, and I'm going to bring it up on the screen here. Yeah, give me a second. Why? Cue. Bring it up to. Okay, here we go. You'll be able to see this. I had to share this with everybody. This is.
What is that on top of it? Just like it just like formed an extra little shell.
Yeah, it's like it just has its own little nipple. So.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And
That would gross me out too. I don't think I'd eat that one.
well, it's funny you say that because I did not eat that one. I actually saved it, and it's actually sitting in like my refrigerator in a little special section for whatever reason. I don't know what I'm going to do with it, but
Show people. Like,
yeah,
have it out on Easter. Like save it till next Easter, or have it could be like your holiday egg.
I don't know what else to do. Right now, it's I don't think it's edible because that was 4 months ago, so it's probably long expired by now. So.
It's gonna start like swelling.
Yeah. The just we had a comment by Jency. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing your name. Jency wanted to know where you could vote. I in the comment section I added the link to where you can go vote. So if anyone wants to go partake in the question that we asked at the beginning, and there are some people I've not brought up the results yet, but I'll bring them up later. But there are people that are voting in that. So thank you very much for partaking in that. So. And that was a good question. I actually like that one. So,
I mean, it is summer. People like hot dogs. I really like, I don't know, I like hadn't ate like hot dogs or something like stuff in a really long time. And then I just was really craving a corn dog for some reason out of all foods. Like, why did I crave a corn dog? Um, but
corn dog. I don't think I've ever had a corn dog before. Now,
no.
I I have had 7-Eleven when I used to be when I worked for Shadow Traffic. I used to fly a lot because I was an airborne reporter, and there was a 7-Eleven right near the airport where I took off, and I would always get, I don't know if you've ever heard this, a cheeseburger hot dog. You ever heard of that?
No. Was it like a burger and a hot dog in one?
It was shaped like a hot dog. So you had a regular hot dog bun, and then with instead of like a regular hot dog, it was like it was just this round cylinder shaped cheeseburger that would be put in the side of the bun. And I found those things ultra delicious. So I couldn't get enough of those.
Was it on like a hot dog bun? Sorry, or like a hamburger bun? I'm just like so like.
Yeah, it was on a hamburger. I'm sorry, it was on a hot dog bun. Let me see if I can. I
Okay.
might want to bring one of these up so you can see what it looks like. But I mean, I just got so hooked on those. Every time I went to fly, I was always buy like two of them, and I would chow them down right before I went up into the plane. And the only place I ever saw have this was a 7-Eleven. And I'm just curious if it was a local thing, but because all the 7-Elevens in the area had them. So if you've never heard of one, then I'm assuming maybe it might just be a local thing. Let me see if I can bring one up here.
I was in DC.
Yes, that was actually technically Gaithersburg, Maryland, so just north of DC. Cheeseburger. I'm typing it up right now. Give me a second. 7-Eleven cheeseburger, hot dog. Probably show one. Let's see. Okay, I'll bring it up. I'll bring up the results here. Yeah. Oh, yeah. They got them right here. Here we go. All right, to the stream here. Okay, this is Here we go. Right here it is, right here. So you see, it uses a regular. That's their just a regular hot dog bun, and then this right here, instead of like a regular hot dog, it would just be like a cheeseburger thing. It was like,
Oh, okay. I was picturing like a hot dog and a cheeseburger like together, but it's like it's a cheeseburger in the form of a hot dog.
yeah, exactly, yeah, exactly.
That's
So,
so weird. And the
and
cheese was even like in it.
yeah, this is a better representation. It looks kind of disgusting at first, but
Us.
you can see little bits of cheese coming out of the sides there. So it was packed with cheese. So yeah, I love that stuff. I know it wasn't healthy, but it was good. I loved it.
So would you
Yeah.
eat mustard? Would you eat that on a mustard or ketchup bun? Do you add ketchup and mustard to it?
No, actually, I just ate it plain. I felt the cheeseburger was fine by itself. In fact, Most of the time, I don't usually add things to my burgers or my anything, to be honest. Well, like I said, I told you earlier, I'm on a restricted diet, so I can't even eat these anymore. So, but
Mhm.
when I was eating this on a regular basis, no, I wouldn't add anything. In fact, I kind of like was kind of fussy as a kid. I was like when we did go to McDonald's, I was like 6 or 7 years old. They would actually specify to the person behind the counter, please make sure it doesn't have any ketchup, no mustard, anything. So it was just a hamburger and a bun, and that was it. So and as I got older, I kind of like I didn't feel like going through the hassle of removing it. So I just accepted it and didn't have any problems with it. But for some reason, I was really, and that's carried over though. So a lot of times when I would buy something, I would just purposely leave everything off just because I didn't like it for some reason. I don't know. So
Hmm. Well, that's new to me. A hot dog cheeseburger.
yeah, yeah,
Cheeseburger hot dog.
yeah. The they also had something else there too. I can't remember what it was, but the meatball. I'm sure, but I think that you've probably seen those meatball hot dogs where they have instead of yeah. In fact, let me bring
Oh,
that up.
instead of like hot dog, it's like just meatballs in the bun.
Yeah, here we go. I'm gonna bring that back up again so you can see this. There we go, like right there. So
Okay.
it's kind of I think it's a meatball. Maybe I'm not. Well, maybe not. It's hard to tell. Let's see.
Yeah, I
It's
can see that.
let me try that meatball.
I just knew 7-Eleven for their slushies. I didn't know they had all this crazy food.
Oh yeah. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Both my dad and I. Well, my dad he used to be a cab driver, and he could tell you where he was so addicted to 7-Elevens. He could tell you every single 7-Eleven in the DC area, Virginia, Maryland, or DC. He knew exactly where they were. In fact, it was like his reference point. So is it near that 7-Eleven or is it near that one? So whenever.
Yeah. That is funny. I'm like
Um,
that too though. Like I know landmarks better than streets. So if you're like, oh, it's on the street, I'm like, okay, well, where is that? Is that by like the Walmart? Is that like by like a Taco Bell? Like, you know what I mean? I'm just like, you can tell me like reference points. Like I always know how to get to my friend's house because I turn by a car dealership. But if you ask me what road that is, I don't know.
that's actually pretty good. I mean, I used to say that a lot when because I used to, well, I still do traffic reports, but my I used to tell that to people when we were doing traffic reports that the average driver doesn't really know the names of the roads out there, and that's interesting that you brought that up. They may know some of the roads, but as far as like trying to give them specific locations in a traffic report, you have to be very careful and try to give them visual references so they know where you are. And uh, other traffic reporters just wouldn't catch on. It didn't get us. Like we'd say what's going to be on Route 50 at say Sand Hill Road or something. Or they in Sand Hill Road, people are like, I've never heard of that road, even though they drive by it every day.
I would run it every day. They're like, oh, this is it? Oh, I didn't know that. I just knew it because of this. Yeah, I mean, landmarks are really big, especially like if there's a specific landmark. Like I always know when I'm driving back to like my hometown, if I pass this huge cross, like I don't know exactly what city I'm in, but I know I've like made it 2 hours. And it's just like, I feel like the big landmarks, you just are like, yeah, okay, I know where that is, but I don't know exactly what city it's in, but I know it's like 2 hours from here. Um, so yeah.
so, so what is your hometown? Would you like? I'm just curious.
Yeah, so I'm from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. We're known for beer and cheese. There's actually, I thought it was funny that Milwaukee is such a big drinking town that there's certain places you can go that'll say like all you can drink except if you live in Wisconsin or like expect. I think there's like 3 states that they always list, and I know Wisconsin or like Milwaukee's one of them because those people out there are like so hardcore that they'll just drink it all. Um, and then it's funny, people always think like we're like the cheese state. I guess we are because of Green Bay, like the cheese head, but that's more like Green Bay and Milwaukee's more sausage and beer, I would say.
Hmm. Now you get a lot. You get a lot of snow up there. Is that a snow state?
Yeah, we get pretty much snow in like the winter months all the way until maybe like February, like January, February, kind of like slows down, but sometimes we'll get some in February. Say maybe even March. Sometimes October. It's very random, and I think it depends on the year. Like some years it'll start earlier, and some years it won't.
Hmm.
So I was
So what?
glad to get into the South.
So yeah, where are you at right now? I'm just curious. If
Right.
you're
Yeah. Now I'm in Kentucky.
Kentucky, so why Kentucky?
I got a job out here, so I decided to take the move and come down to Kentucky.
Oh, okay. And do you, as far now, we have not really discussed you personally, so some of my viewers might be saying, "Who is this right now? Why?"
Who's this girl?
So you are on the radio, and did you want
Yeah.
to talk about that?
Sure. So I work in broadcasting. I did some broadcasting back in Milwaukee, and then I decided to take a job opportunity out in Kentucky, and I still do broadcasting. So I do stuff on the air. I do like producing different shows, different like production work, and go out and do events, which are always fun because then we can meet the people and interact with them. And people love free shirts and stuff, so it's always fun to. I actually did an event last weekend, and we were giving away free shirts, and these little kids were like throwing them on, and they were like so big on them. They were like little dresses, and they were just like dancing with the music with their like little station T-shirts on. It was so cute. But yeah, so different stuff like that.
Now, as far as interactions, are I assume most of the people are pretty fun. What I'm leading up to is like interactions both in person and like over the air. Are they pretty fun?
Yeah, that's like the thing I think I enjoy most about the job is just like the listener interaction and just seeing like I get people calling in for like shout outs like, hey, can you like shout out to my fiance, or like can you shout out to my kids, like they're listening right now, and then like they'll call back or they'll like text be like, oh my gosh, they were like so happy when they heard like you say that, or different stuff like that. Like that makes me always feel good. I'm like, oh, like they're actually listening, and they like feel like it made their day, I guess, like if they heard their name on the radio. Because I mean, if I was a kid and I heard my name on the radio, I'd be like, oh my god, that's so cool. So I really like the interaction and stuff, and then also like going out and like meeting the people too. I mean, most people don't know who I am, and they're like, oh, who are you, because like they don't see your face. But
Right.
just like knowing that they're like being a part of an event with a radio station there, I think like changes like the energy and the mood of like the event and stuff. Like they have fun because the music is blasting, people are dancing and talking and having a good time usually at most of the events.
Well, I've got to let you on a little something that you'll probably hate me when I'm going
Oh,
to tell you.
okay.
From my radio experience, I've only worked at one music radio station. It was WGAY, which is FM 99.5 in DC. It was actually just north of DC in Silver Spring, Maryland. I worked there for about 6 or 7 months. I did the relaxing romance shift, and
Oh,
basically, so people like couples to get put them in the mood. For it was always the evening from 9 to midnight shift.
I didn't
And
even
can
know they did something like that.
you
That's
did?
cool.
I would get calls from people periodically. It would happen enough, not on a regular, but enough. I would get them saying, "Could you please play this song? I really want to hear this." And couldn't tell them. I couldn't have the heart to tell them. Well, it's on a playlist. I can't select the song. So I would say, I would always say to them, "I'll see what I can do," and
Yeah.
I would never play the song. So,
Like I thought you were gonna play that. Oh my.
and so I felt so bad, but there's nothing else I could do. It's like if the program director heard me playing a different song on there, I'd be out of there. So I had to follow the format. There was just no way. It wasn't a station where it was not free form in any way, shape, or form. So, um,
Right.
but
That's always just
that's what.
I said that's always disappointing because I get callers like that too. And sometimes it'll be like a new song we're playing, so I can be like, look up what to see when it plays, and I'll be like, oh yeah, I can play that in an hour. But then if it's a song that's really old, it's like, yeah, I'll see what I can do. I'll try to fit it in for you, or like it's just too old to play or whatever.
Yeah. The Now I'm curious. Now, talking about your jobs, what was your first job?
My first job ever
Yeah.
was at a yeah, I'm pretty sure I started there before I went there. It was at a sub shop. Like I don't know if you guys ever had cousin subs. I do know what cousin subs is. They don't have them in Kentucky, so no one really here knows what that is. But
Cousin subs. No, I've never.
they're like a Subway kind of, but they're different. I feel like if someone at cousin subs were and I compare them to Subway, they would be like, no, we're different. We're cousin subs. But it's like a sub shop.
Cousin subs. Yeah, I've got to see what this looks like. You got me curious. Give me a second here while I try to.
They fresh make their bread every day. I would always like smell it when I came into work. I was really sad though because I really wanted to upgrade to sandwich artist, but I was always on the cashier. Like I was always on the cash register, and they like let me like fry the fries and stuff. But I was like, when am I gonna upgrade to sandwich artist? And they're like, eventually, but I think I left before then.
Oh, okay.
Because I'm like, this isn't going fast enough. And then I got a job at like I really because like I like working out and stuff. I got a job at a gym and it like the daycare.
Oh, okay. Before we jump ahead to that, though, so yeah,
Mhm.
cousin subs. Is this it? Is this what it looks
Yeah,
like?
yeah.
Okay.
And they
Yeah.
always
No.
have like
Sorry, I forgot to tell you when we're talking. I apologize for this. The internet causes an issue where when I talk or you talk, sometimes it'll muffle the other person. So I apologize for that. So go ahead. You don't have to repeat yourself. Sorry.
Oh, yeah, that's Cousin Seb's. Their bread is like I like okay, so I went through a phase where I didn't eat gluten, and then I tried and then I was starting to eat gluten again, and I was trying to, like, make a sub like Cousins, and I kept forgetting what kind of, like, bread subs were on. I think I bought, like, a baguette, I bought, like I think they're on French bread, that like, their main thing is French bread. But I thought it was funny that I couldn't, like, figure out what type of bread that they use because their bread's really good and they have, like, different kinds too, like an Asiago one that's really good, but they're fairly good for the like, for a sub shop.
Do
They're
they
really
offer they offer tater tots? Is that right? Is that what I'm seeing there?
I guess so. I always like when I worked there, they had fries. I don't remember tater tots. Maybe that's a new thing because this was like a while ago. This was like when I was 16.
Hmm. Gotcha. Well, the reason I bring that up is whenever I go to a Subway, they don't. Well, I don't know if they do this anymore, but the one thing I always hated was they didn't offer like a side order like that. They would just give you like you could get a bag of chips, and I can't stand chips and Subway sandwiches at the same time. It's just they don't mix for me. And
Put the chips on the sub sandwich.
what's that? Put them on the sub sandwich?
Yeah, I've heard people do that. They like take their chips and like they crumple them up and put them on their sandwich.
No, I've never actually no, I've never done that at all. That's interesting. Is have you done that? Have you tried it?
I've tried it with like, yeah, I think like I feel like it works better with like potato chips, like barbecue potato chips or like regular just Lay's potato chips. Although I'm not really a fan of potato chips in general, I like corn chips better than potato. But I think those might be cheese curds because I do think they sell cheese
Oh,
curds.
oh, that'd be really good then. Yeah, I could deal with that. That's pretty good. So
Yeah, that was
so
my first job. I actually got offered my first job at a pancake house, but once I found out we had to pay like $100 for the uniform, I was like, "Yeah, this
really?
is gonna take me like a month to work back." I'm like, "I'm not gonna take the job." Because I was like, "I don't wanna pay for" I was like 16, so I was like, "I don't wanna pay for a uniform. I'm not paying $100 for this ugly uniform at this" and they want us to wear these shoes. But like now I'm like, "Okay, well, it's a job. Like, of course you have to get a uniform and like pay for it." But when you're like a teenager, you're like, "I'm not gonna spend $100 on this uniform and wear it every day."
Yeah.
But
Did it have your name on it? Did you have to wear a name tag?
they probably gave us a name tag, yeah, but I just remember the outfits being like I mean, of course, it's like a job, but like in my mind when I was that age, I was just like, "Why would I spend my hard-earned money on that?" But you're wearing it for work. But I can't remember exactly what it was, but I remember being like, "I don't wanna wear that."
Yeah. Yeah, I worked as a, when I was going to school, I worked as a courier, so they forced me to buy, like, a sweatshirt that had the delivery company name on it, and they said, "Well, don't you wanna buy, like, 2 or 3 of these?" And I said, "Nah, I was too cheap. I just bought the 1 and then washed it, and it wore out really quickly."
Like, "Shoot, I need to get another one."
And I was like, I didn't care. The sleeves were worn out. There was holes in it. I was like, I didn't care anymore. I was like, you forced me to buy something I don't want to wear. And like you were saying, and I just forget it. And I was a contractor. I wasn't an employee. So I was contracted to do the work. So I had to do my own taxes. So I figured if they're going to force me to do all this, I'll just buy the one shirt. I'm not really interested in buying anymore. So
Right. I worked for a company that was like that. They're like, "You can buy all the colors of our company shirt." And I was like, "Well, can I just buy one for now? Because you had to like, yeah, you have to pay for it." And it's just like, well, then am I making any money if I'm spending it all on the apparel? But it makes sense, like to have clothes to wear to look nice.
right. Well, I guess I was not really for me, I was like, I just didn't care. So me, I was like, yeah, whatever, whatever, who cares? So you seem to have a much more nicer personality. So I think you would want to look you always look presentable.
Well, yeah. I probably did just buy one of the shirts, but then I felt like I needed to buy another one.
Uh-huh. The wait, hold on a second here. I'm sorry. Let me bring this. Okay, so I got distracted. I do have now. You gave me a list of questions before we
Mm.
went live, and I was one of these questions I did want to ask. Hold on a second. I'm going through these. Uh, Oh goodness. Where was it? I was just looking at this. Sorry. Okay. Well, I'll ask you this one. Since this is one of the questions you submitted to me. It was like, what is your cure for hiccups? I'm just curious.
Oh, yeah. So I don't know if my mom just like I don't know what her, I don't know if she heard this from something or if she just like thought it would be funny. But so at first I thought like the cure for hiccups was like drinking a bunch of water, or like she would, I feel like my cousins would be like, oh, you have to like go upside down or like go out in a headstand or like put your head down and like drink water. But she would always be like, you have to take a cold like knife or silverware and like put it to your forehead. And I'm like, is that supposed to scare me? And that's why like my hiccups go away? Or is it something to do with the cold? Like, why is it a knife? Like, why am I putting a cold knife to my head? But it actually worked. And I don't know if it's just because I was scared because I was like putting a cold knife to my head, but it was like a butter knife, not like an actual sharp knife. It was like, and it was like the end of the knife, not like the sharp part. Just to
Right.
clarify that, I'm not like holding a sword like to my head. But yeah, I don't know why she would always be that. She'd be like, you have to like hold a really cold like knife, like the end of it, like to your temple.
The as far as the cold, I mean, how would you get a cold? How long would you? I assume you put it in the refrigerator and just leave it in for a long period of time.
Yeah, well, so I think like the faster way would be just like put it in the freezer for like a minute or two, and then if you still had the hiccups, then you would like kind of hold it there. But because I don't know, when I get the hiccups, I get them like all day long. I don't just get them like once for the day. Like if I had the hiccups like once during the day, they'll probably come 3 or 4 more times throughout that day.
Mhm. The well, I my cure for hiccups, and it seems to work very well, is to take a very deep breath and just hold it. And I take a really deep breath and hold
Yeah,
it for about maybe 30 seconds, maybe 40 seconds, and it seems to work almost every time.
that
Um,
seems more safe. That seems more legit.
the and for me that's very frustrating. I if I don't, I'll have them just like you. They'll just last all day, and it's just so annoying, especially if I'm doing voice work or something. And I was like, I'm in the middle of something, and like, whoop, it's like, okay, and I got to start all over again.
Have you ever gotten them on the air? That happened to me a couple of weeks ago, and I was like laughing at myself because I'm sure people were like, "What?" like laughing, and I was like, "Well, I'm just gonna have to play along with it because they're not going away."
Unfortunately, no. Most of the work I've done is mostly news and traffic, and so the
Mhm.
traffic reports mostly when I was doing them live. No, fortunately for me, no. So it was more or less anything was it was more or less just being distracted by something because I was in a plane most of the time or something looking around. And if you've ever been in a plane, it can be very disorienting sometimes if you're all of a sudden you get a wind and you're like whoa, 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 and you got to go around and keep your composure and everything. So but
Yeah,
yeah, but no, no, fortunately, no. That that's
no,
never
of
been
course.
let's see. So I'm trying to think as far as any other cures. I can't think of any other cures. Nothing else is the cure I came from my best friend. His name is Trevor. He and I've been friends since we were 10 years old. I think he's the one that taught it to me, and then I just said it worked pretty well, and I just went with it. I do know that what was really annoying when he and I were kids, and even into our early adult years, if I had the hiccups, he would, and I was talking to him, and I hiccup, he would actually mock me, like, and be, and
Oh,
I was like, why are you doing that to me? This is annoying enough. You don't have to do that. Come on, dude. And
uh-huh.
he would stop. That was just something that just got to me sometimes. But yeah, that was
And then
about.
it worked.
No, it didn't work. No, he was just doing it to pick on me. He was just being mean.
I was like, maybe it would work because I'm like, you're like, I feel like if you concentrated on it too, like, trying to maybe get it to go away, then it like goes away, or maybe then they stay. I don't
Uh,
know.
I don't, I
I
don't know.
hate
We
that.
got a comment from TK. TK says sugar is most effective with hiccups.
I was thinking sugar, but then I was like, I don't know if that's for a burn because I've heard like if you burn your mouth or like if you burn something to like rub sugar on it, but it must work. Yeah, thank you. That it must work for hiccups too. Who doesn't
Yeah.
want a big spoonful of sugar?
I I don't know if I could consume even sugar is something it's definitely out of my diet right now, but even so, I don't even like tasting sugar on its own. I mean, I'm just curious, how much sugar would you have to like a spoonful of sugar? I'm just curious about that.
Maybe. Yeah, if they can comment. I had a friend back in elementary school that had sugar cubes. Like her mom must have had just sugar cubes out and she would eat them as snacks. She would just be like, "Oh, do you want a sugar cube?" And I was like, this is our afternoon school snack?" And she's like, "Yeah, like," and then we would just be eating sugar cubes. I don't know why we did that because eating like straight up sugar, it might be good for like one, but I can't imagine just like popping sugar cubes all afternoon.
Yeah, yeah. And the other thing I was what that reminds me of is of I used to consume M&Ms by the pound. I used to buy a pound bag of M&Ms all the time. And one time I couldn't. I decided for whatever reason, I decided to get the little M&Ms that are like decorations that go on little cupcakes. You ever seen they're like dot size
Oh,
M&Ms?
yeah, like the minis.
Well, no, these aren't minis. These are specifically designed. They look like minis, but they're specifically designed for like put on like ornamentations, like for cakes and cupcakes.
Oh, yeah, okay. But they're chocolate?
Yeah, well, it turns out they're just pure sugar.
Oh, they're sugar. Okay, yeah.
There's no chocolate in it whatsoever. It's just pure. And I was like, they were disgusting. And I guess if you're eating with a cupcake or something, you don't really notice it. But I was like, I thought this would be kind of cool to get like really tiny M&Ms. And no, these were not mini M&Ms.
Pure sugar bowls. I don't know. That's interesting you say that because I feel like those little things that you add to things, like you can either taste them or like you take a bite of something and then they just like shoot to the back of your mouth. Like I don't know if you've ever had like baboa. I think they're called balls, like those little like tapioca starch balls filled with like juice. And then you just like drink them, or like if you get a slushy and you get like the first time I ever had a Sonic slushie, I got like the nerds in it because everyone's like, oh, get the slushie with nerds. But then you're drinking it and these nerds are just like shooting the back of your throat and you're like, can't even enjoy the slushie because you just have these like balls of sugar that are like in, I don't know.
So,
I'm so here. Um,
no, I've
that's
never. Hope you're okay there.
random.
So yeah, as far as I've never had slushies with nerds in it. That must be something that's more recent because I've never heard of that.
It must be like a new thing that maybe like Sonic does. I don't know. It must be like a thing that was been around for a while. Maybe. I don't know. I don't think there was many Sonics in Wisconsin that I can remember. So I just started noticing them when I moved to Kentucky. But everyone was saying like you have to try a Sonic slushie. They're so good. So I got one and then like I of course got it. Like the pictures are so pretty, and I'm like, oh, I want that one because it has nerds in it, and I can take a picture of it and all this stuff. But then when I was eating it, I was like, this was such a bad idea. You can't even like every time you just like want to drink like of the slushy, these nerds just like come through your straw. And I'm like, am I supposed to swallow it or like chew it? But I'm like eating ice, so it's just like I don't know. It was a weird concept for me, but maybe people love it.
So I'm going through your list of questions again. I'm going to ask you something
Mhm.
else here. What is there anything that you feel that you've? I'm sorry. Is there anything that you do that makes you feel unique? Is the question.
Hmm. Oh, I was like, I had an answer for that. I'm like, what was my answer for that? Oh yeah, I do make candles. I guess that's something about me that's like kind of different. I make candles and like rollerball essential oil type things. So I have different scents based on what you're looking for.
Okay. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Could you repeat that last part? I do apologize. I got distracted here. Sorry. I do apologize.
So I make candles and I also make like essential rollerball, like they're like little roller balls that you can like roll on your skin. And then each one has like different scents together that make up different properties based on like what you're looking for. So say you want one for confidence, then that has like certain essential oils in it that are confidence boosting.
Hmm.
Or say you want one that is more like self-love, then that has more like rose and like rose quartz kind of stuff in it. Cause I also put like crystals and flowers in them as well. So
Well,
that's what I started doing during quarantine.
oh. Now, is this something that you're? I mean, are you still doing this right now?
Yeah, so I actually sell them to a boutique here in Kentucky, and then I also sell them online. So it's just something I do on the side just for fun. And
Okay. But now, as far as anything, now talking about stuff online, was there anything that you wanted to promote? I should have asked you that before we started the show. You would send me some links of you. Did you want me to? Did you have a? I know you sent me like an Instagram. Did you want to promote
yeah,
that?
sure, you can post my Instagram. I think on there too, if like people are interested in candles and oils and stuff like that, I think there's a link in my Instagram that can take you to my Etsy. But yeah, if you want to find me on social media as well, Instagram, I have a Twitter that I should probably use more often than I do, but sometimes you'll catch a random tweet from me in there. Um,
Yeah, I did look at your Twitter feed. I noticed it was kind of sparse and
yeah,
anything recent. So,
so random. I feel like I need to like up that if I'm gonna stay on Twitter.
and how about your Facebook page? Could you send me that? Would you like to promote that one as well?
Sure, I should probably make like a separate Facebook, but you could post it.
Okay. Well, what I'll do is after the show is done, I'll post those links in the description so everyone can click on those. So
Cool.
now what I would like to do is like to go back to our question. It's been some time here so we can actually see what kind of results we're getting here. and it looks like we're doing pretty good. Wow. Okay, we got 100. It's not. There we go. Right there. 123 votes so far.
Ooh, what are people thinking? No, disgusting.
Yes.
That's what I'm with you on that. I don't know if I'd want
73%. Yeah, no, disgusting. Next one down, 13% with depends on the flavor. After that, we got 8% with yes, and 4% with I don't care, and 2% with a choice of your choice of flavor. Interesting. I would have thought that that one would have been uh, more have had more of a higher response. Maybe they're reading the upper ones too quickly and they didn't realize they could have chose one of the lower responses there.
they
Um,
just see like flavored hot dog bun and are like, no. And like don't even care what the other one's like, just a no. Well, I mean, like I didn't ask you, what would you? Would you try a flavored hot dog bun or would you
I would try it. Yeah, sure. I mean, unless it was something that sounded really disgusting. I mean, I can't think of. I mean, if it was mustard flavored, I don't think I have nothing against mustard. I when I was a kid, I would have said no. It was, but as like I said, as I've gotten older, I've accepted toppings and other condiments and things like that. So, but I would try it. And if I didn't like it, I would say it. No, I just wouldn't use it again. So, try. It says beast mode says try that. Oh, I can't read it.
amaretto and nog with a shot of Kahlua and Bailey's?
Yeah.
Is that for the hiccups?
Oh,
My favorite hiccups. Yes, the next time I have hiccups, I'm gonna get a shot of amaretto and Kahlua and Bailey's.
we got a Russian
I'll try to
response
do
here. Let me
I
give
hope
it
that's for the hiccups because that's gonna be my new remedy.
if it isn't, I'm not sure what he's getting at there. So let's see.
Unless you want a Kahlua hot dog bun, that would be interesting too. I
We
don't know if
got
that
a,
would be good.
and then the other one is Russian. He's just saying great. So
Okay.
uh, okay, thanks for that response. All right. Well, that's usually that's pretty common for you usually get like 100 or so for the first show, and then by the next show, like within it, well, if the show takes place within a week, we'll get like anywhere from 2,000 anywhere up to 5,000 or 6,000 votes. And then lately we've been getting the responses are pretty decent, usually anywhere from 25 up to like 70 or 80 responses. So, and we can skim through them. And that's obviously it just takes some time for these people to go through. In case you're wondering, people watching this as well as well as you, Katie, the, the, these questions are not only for my viewers, but also they're shown at random. So like someone who's watching on a mobile phone or a mobile device, YouTube will just show them periodically on their videos. So they'll watch a video and this question will just pop up at random. So, um, so my viewers definitely have a chance to do this, but also they have a chance to, it could be just random people we have no idea who are responding to this.
That's funny. That's great.
So, and of course, these are hardly scientific, so I wouldn't, yeah, I've seen some people like have these questions they'll do a video and they'll post a question and come back and say, well, look at this proves that my point is right. It's like, well, wait a minute. There's nothing scientific about it. It's just you just ask questions and you're getting people's opinion. There's nothing scientific about this at all. So it's
But you
just
could make it scientific.
now,
This
what's that? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I was
You could
talking.
make it scientific. Even this, it has to have some type of chemistry to make this bun flavored. Like, could it even be a thing? Oh, well, yeah, you could just add that ingredient, but will it turn out? Is the
It's
question.
That's true. That's true. I'm curious. Well, we can always check this the next show and see what we get there. I'm curious if we'll get any other people if that number will change. I've had questions where we'll ask and one will be like one answer will be like way up like this one at 73%, and then later on like we'll come back the following week and like another answer will overwhelmingly to overtaken it. So, but I have found that usually that's not the case. So what we get here is probably going to be with the same if next Saturday at the same time, probably the percentage wise will be about the same, but the number of votes will have increased by a lot. That's the only difference. And usually have like several dozen comments to redo. Let me hit it one more time just for the heck of it. So 140. So yeah, nothing. Oh, we got nope. Yeah, just 2 responses. So okay. Well, I appreciate everyone taking the time to participate in that, and we can come back to that on the next show. See what it is. So all right, Katie. Well, did you? I guess we can go ahead and wrap everything up unless you had something else you wanted to add.
Um, Not specifically. I mean, thank you for watching and putting up with meeting me, I guess.
Oh, don't put it that way. You're great. I personally I enjoyed talking to you. I think the banter back and forth was phenomenal. So the audience liked you, and I hope you choose to come back and we can do some more shows together. So
Yeah, of course. I'll think of more questions, more in-depth questions, rather than just hot dog basic flavored questions.
so all right, everyone. That was Katie Hamilton, and we will see you next time. Have a good one.
Yes, time.